The biggest feature in Minecraft that you always forget about. The chat! You use it every day. Learn how to command it.
Netcasts you love from people you trust. This is Twit. Video and audio bandwidth provided by Cashfly at cachefly.com.
Hello and welcome to OMGcraft. I'm your host, Chad Johnson. This is a show that'll teach you how to become a Minecraft expert in no time. On this Tuesday's tip, it's all about the chat. If you're like me, you're in multiplayer servers a lot, and so you're in-game in the chat a lot. Most people don't realize that you can actually change the chat's settings, from being on or off, how it looks, and how it behaves. I have a quick little whirl to show off these chat settings. In each of these command blocks, I have a say command, so I can go ahead and turn each of these on so that we will have something going on in chat while I show this off. And then all of the functionality for your chat settings are hidden under Options, then Multiplayer Settings. Here you have two sections. You have chat settings at the top and then multiplayer settings at the bottom. The first is very simple. You have either to show chat, to only show commands, or to be hidden entirely. Now, commands is interesting because it'll only show what's coming from the server itself. Now, because we're using command blocks here, everything that's going on is commands. But if there were players talking, we wouldn't see them. Next is colors. So let's say you're just tired of all of the crazy colors that some servers throw into the chat. You can turn those on and off. And you can see that in the background. Now this is with colors off and then with colors on. Next is web links on or off. Now this will not hide web links. This will just allow them to be clickable. So if you click on a web link and you get this prompt to either open it in a browser, copy to your clipboard, or to cancel out and not open this up. If you turn the web links off, you will not get that prompt. It will just be like as if the old chat settings where if you click, nothing happens, you just don't get the option. This is kind of a nice parental control if you don't want your kids clicking links in the chat. Next is opacity, which is pretty self-explanatory. If you turn it down, you can turn it down to 10%, and the chat sort of fades away, and you can turn it all the way up to 100%. And it's good to note that there is still a little bit of opacity in the gray square behind chat. Next is to prompt on link. This turns off the feature which we saw before with web links. If I go ahead and jump in and click a link now, it will automatically open up my browser into that link where it doesn't prompt me if I want to copy to my clipboard or cancel out. So if you are tired of seeing that stupid prompt every single time that you click a link, this is how you turn it off. Next is scale, which will allow you to scale the font size of the chat. So you can see it getting much smaller there in the background. Next is focused height, and what this does is how many pixels is the chat when you have it focused. So let's go ahead and turn it down to something small, like 20 pixels. Now, if I hit the T to open up the chat, it will only show me 20 pixels of the chat. Now, at this point, it's unhelpful, but that's only because I'm demonstrating the difference between focused and unfocused. So let's go and turn focused all the way back. But let's say we're in a really chatty server, just like right now, where there's chat flowing all over the time. I can turn unfocused down so that it shows much less of the scrolling chat. This is really, really, really useful. Finally is width. If it's just too wide of a chat, you can turn this down and squeeze it over to the side. Now, most servers will expect that you're at a normal default width, and sometimes messages will display really weirdly on servers who have used whitespace to make really pretty server messages. I don't really like to mess around with width that often. Finally is capes. This actually isn't a chat setting, but it's in the same area, so I just wanted to touch on it. This is sort of like a bonus tip. This is if you get to show your cape either on or off. This is not other people's capes. This is only your player, your profile, if your player will show a cape on a public server. I hope that you have learned a little bit about your chat settings. Make sure that you put them to just the perfect settings for you. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. Love that porridge. that chat settings. Anyway, if you would like to send us some tips, feel free to send us some feedback. You can mail us some email at mail@omgcraft.com. We're also on Twitter, so follow the show at OMGcraftshow, and make sure you subscribe at twit.tv/OMGcraft. Thanks so much for watching this episode. Bye!